Chag Sameach Sukot. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Moreh Rapha'Yah. We're just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about this last day of Sukkot. We have been rejoiceful, very happy that the Creator of heavens and earth has given us the opportunity to celebrate this great festival. But there is another festival that is coming tomorrow, tonight, which is Shemini Atzeret, which is the 8th day of the whole entire cycle of festivals throughout the entire year. It is important for us to conceive this mentality of our forefathers, how they celebrated the festivals in such a way that we can actually grasp the validity of the Torah itself. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's start off. Just before that, if you haven't subscribed, please do so you can get the latest production that we always working on. And there are many coming very, very soon. So let's just start off. Sukkot, the festival of Sukkot, is one of the greatest festivals, and there is a reason for it. Let's start off with 23:34 of Vayikra, or Leviticus, says to the sons of Israel, on the 15th day of the 7th month is a festival of Sukkot for 7 days for Yahweh. Now, why am I bringing this verse again? Is because the simple fact that Yahweh says very clear that this is the 7th month. And there's a reason why the Torah says it. The 7 days of Sukkot. Okay, so once again, is the 7th month, is not the end of the year. 7th month means the 7th month. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to our Jewish brothers and our Messianic brothers too, that they said that this is the end of the year. Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah means New Year. Does it make any sense when I say it's the New Year when it's the 7th month? It doesn't make any sense at all. You always have to give the reason to the Torah. Yahweh says very clear, this is the 7th month. And let's decodify what the Torah speaks of, a lot of wording that utilize on the Hebrew, and we'll make a sense of that, and we'll decodify the Torah as the proper way to do so. So let's continue with the next verse. Leviticus 23, verse 40, on the first day they will bring choice of fruits, lemon, palms, fronds, thick branches, a river of willows, and they will celebrate in the presence of Yahweh, their Ayil Almighty, for 7 days. Now, it's very important, this verse, because in Sukkot, which we are celebrating still, these are 7 days that Yahweh said that we need to bring these four, if you can see it here, these four things that are necessary to celebrate the festival of Sukkot. This is the lemon, which is the etrog, the palm branches, the thick branches, the willows, and everything the Torah speaks is right here. We wave it, okay? We wave it for 7 days, okay? And as you can see, it smells so unbelievable. This is coming all the way from Israel, the Eretz Israel, okay? And we celebrate the proper way to do so. So it is very important, like I said, to do it the right way as the Torah speaks of. Now let's continue. And look at what it says here. All these four things that the Yahweh said that we need to bring, there are things that are codified within it. In some other time, we will talk about that. In these 7 days that we are dwelling in the sukkah, in the tent, we realize how temporary we are, how fragile we are, that we are not depend upon each other, but we depend upon Yahweh Sebaot. When we dwell in these 7 days in the sukkah, which is a mitzvah, it's a command, direct command from Yahweh, is because He wants us, all of us, to experience how our forefathers dwell in the wilderness, how Yaakov, how Abraham, how Yitzhak, they dwell in tents, in Sukkot. Why? Because they were nomads. And I realize personally when I'm under the Sukkot, how the Creator is amazing with a lot of things. He wants us to realize that we are just passing by. Very important. 23 verse 16 of Shemot or Exodus, follow the festival of the harvest in the first fruits of your labor, which ye have sown on the field. And lastly, the festivals of the gathering, and the word that it utilizes here in Hebrew is departure for Beset. The Beset, the departure of the year, when you gather from the field the results of your efforts. Now the word for the departure or the end of the year is the word for Beset. Why does it say Beset? What does it mean? Let's continue. Look at what it says in the Targum Onkelos of 23:16. You must also keep the feast of the harvest, the wearing, the bikurim, or the first fruits of your labor, which you planted on the field, in the harvest festival at the end of the year, when you reap the fruits of the labor of the field. Now, once again, why does it say Beset, or the end of the year? And there is a really good reason for it. The end of the year doesn't mean that it ends there. No, brothers and sisters. And I will show you in the graphic that the end of the year means at the turn of the year. For instance, in soccer, we all know, those who know, fans of soccer, you will understand that the first half is called the first half of the game, but the second half is always called the final end of the game. And it's always like that. So here in this sense, Yahweh says this, as soon as it turns to the 6 months after, it says is basically the turn of the year, the almost ending of the year. Look at what it says here in the Torah 34:22 of Exodus. Observe the Shabuot with the first products gathered from the wheat harvest in the Chat Apsib, which means the festival of the harvest. And the word for middle, half, final, or circuit is the word in Hebrew for tekufot of the year. Do you see that? The tekufot of the year means half a year. If you go to the Septuagint, the Greek Septuagint of this verse, it says at the half of the year, which means that it is a half a year. Now, let's continue. Look at what it says here, and right before that, let me just make clear, brothers and sisters, that all this information is for you to copy the notes, go look for it, and you'll find out that we're not making stuff up. We're just bringing the truth. We're just bringing the emet for you to understand that it's not the way they say it outside. It's the way the truth, what Yahweh has been speaking for a long time. It is time for all of us to wake up, because they've been telling us so many lies for so many years. It is time for us to wake up. We, Ephraim, the northern kingdom, Yahweh has given us the opportunity, basically the gift of the double hotmat, which means the double knowledge, because we are the firstborn. The Torah speaks about the Ephraim being the firstborn. If you really think about our Jewish brothers are not the firstborn, we are. And not only that, our Jewish brothers don't have and have not have the rod, the throne, the scepter, in other words. Mashiach already got it in the first century when he came in the first advent, which means that we have the capability to decode a lot of things because we have the advantage of Mashiach. Now let's bring the next evidence. This is the end of the year. This is the real end of the year that not a lot of people talk about. Actually, nobody talks about it. And let me show you. 2nd of Samuel 11:1. Look at what it says, to the Teshuvah, which means to the return of the year, at the time when the kings usually go to battle. And it's always like that. Every time they go to battle, they always go to battle at the beginning of the year, which is spring. When the return of the year is exactly when the year is ending. Look at what the First of Kings says. It says again, 2026, at the Teshuvah, the return of the year. See that? They also went and fought again. Once again, brothers and sisters, this is not something we're making it up. And let me show you so you can have a better understanding of what I'm saying. In the whole entire cycle of the year, we have 4 seasons. Every season has 3 months. Aviv, the season of Aviv, spring, we began with Aviv, the first month, of 31 days. Second month of 31 days. Third month is 31 days. This is the first season of 31 days each. 93 total of the season of spring. So we go to the fourth month, and it has 31 days. Fifth month has 31 days. Sixth month has 31 days. The summer season has 3 months of 31 days, which is 93 days. We have 6 months altogether, which means that the whole half a year is called in Hebrew Beset. You can look it up. It's in the Hebrew. It's in the Torah, which means departure, our word. Katzat is another word, which means the final border. And Tekufah, which is, we saw it earlier, all this in the Torah, which middle, half, final, and circuit. Then we go to the other half, which is the final stages of the whole year. We go to the 7th month, and we have 30 days. 8th month, we have 30 days. 9th month, we have 30 days. This is the fall season. And we finally got to the winter season, which is the 10th month, we have 30 days. 11th month, we have 30 days. And the 12th month, we have 29 days. 6 months altogether. We have the full year, but at the end of the full year, right about here, where you see over here the laser, we have what is called today the Teshuvah, which means the return of the year. And that's the final stage of the whole cycle of the year. All this, you can look it up. By the way, the word Sheni means 2. The word Shana means a year. What is the similarities between Sheni and Shana is basically the same. Sheni means 2. Shana means a year, but it also means the repeat of 1. Which means 1 plus 1 is what? 2. You see that? And which means it repeats itself. And that's basically what a year is. If you look it up in the dictionary, the definition of a year means, and you can look it up, means the repetition of the 4 seasons. And it's always like that. It's a cycle that you can look it up, that we actually live it. We actually experience every single year. The cycles repeat itself. So it's not something we're making it up. It's there. It's been there the entire time. Now let's change the gear real quick. The book of Joel 2:21. Do not be afraid, O earth. Rejoice, rejoice, because Yahweh has done great things. Do not be afraid, wild animals, for the pastures of the wilderness are green. The trees are bearing fruit. The fig tree and the wine are yielding full harvest. Now, why am I bringing this verse, brothers and sisters, is because I want you to understand that when Yahweh speaks about this encoded in verses like this, he speaks about all of us. Not only that, he wants, especially in these seasons, to be rejoiceful, to be grateful for all the things that Yahweh has given us. It talks about animals. Do you guys remember when it talks about animals, when it talks about wild animals and stuff? Do you guys remember about the Cornelius in chapter 10 of book of Acts? Remember when Kepha, Shimon, Peter, right? Remember those two were bind together? Cornelius was a Gentile. He was a northern kingdom, an Ephraimite. Kepha, of course, he was a Jew. Yahweh told him that he was hungry. He said, go ahead and kill all kinds of animals. He was not talking about the kosher law. He was not talking about the actual material food. He was talking about the meaning of the vision that he had. He realized, if you look at it, chapter 10, he realized that vision meant about people, not animals. He's not talking about food, but he's talking about indeed all of us as a person, as the northern kingdom. We, through the Mashiach, we've been cleansed. We going back to our roots, our Hebrew roots. Yahweh is bringing us back again. And therefore, we should be grateful that our Creator is giving us the ability to understand all these things. Look at the next verse. We just read that verse. Let's look at the verse 23. Children of Zion, rejoice in Yahweh your Ayil Almighty, for he gives you the autumn rain in fair measure, and bring down for you autumn and spring showers as of old. Now, all this, we always wonder, brothers and sisters, when is the Mashiach is going to return? When? Which season is going to return? Because we always talk about seasons and stuff. When is he going to return? Well, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, it is encoded in the Torah, and also in the prophets, but we need to look it up because it's encoded. We need to decodify it, and here it is. All right, so let's look into the decodify this verse, Joel 2:23, and it goes like this. Sons of Zion, rejoice in Yahweh your Ayil Almighty, because he gives you, and the word for rain is Moreh, which is the first rain of autumn. Tzedakah means righteous. Yoresh means the first rain. And Malkosh means late as before. So let's decodify the whole message on when Mashiach will return. The Moreh, which means the teacher of Tzedakah, of justice, the Moreh, or the teacher of justice, will come to pick up, which is Lakosh, when? In the season of autumn, Yoresh. So, which means, brothers and sisters, we always have the notion that when Mashiach will come on the autumn, on the fall season. Now we can actually see the codify in the Torah, in the scriptures, in the prophets, that Mashiach will come in this season, in the season of fall, in the season of autumn. Specifically, when? It will come in Yom HaKippurim, in the festival of HaKippurim. Okay? And so, which means that we need to prepare, which means that we need to prepare ourselves for this great event. Look at what it says here, James 5:17. So, brethren, be patient until the master returns. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth. He's patient until the rain of autumn and spring comes. Just as the farmer does the way he's supposed to be doing all the time, be patient, be rejoiceful because of what he's done. The same thing we need to do so. The problem is that we are so conditioned to this system, we tend to forget how amazing Yahweh is for all of us. And this one comes with what I'm saying next. The word for mikra, which means a convocation, also it means assemblies, a public meeting, but also means a rehearsal. We are rehearsing every time we are keeping Shabbat. We're keeping a high Shabbat, a festival. We are rehearsing for something that is coming up. And what is it coming up? brothers and sisters, is coming up the wedding rehearsal. We are the wedding dress. We are rehearsing until the groom comes back. We are doing it because we need to, brother. We need to be ready when he returns on Mashiach. And that is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this next. Deuteronomy 28, verse 47. For you did not serve Yahweh you Almighty with gladness in your heart when you have such abundance of everything. The problem nowadays, brothers and sisters, is that when we have an abundance, we tend to forget a lot of things. We tend to forget our Creator, a lot of things that He's giving us, and yet we are not happy. Even though you can have so many things, everything your heart wanted, we're still not happy. We need to be happy. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything at all. We still need to be happy because He has given us the life right now. We need to be happy. We need to be rejoiceful. This is a season that we need to be rejoiceful for all the things that He has given us. A matter of fact, Shaul says that we need to be happy all the time. Though they serve Yahweh, they did not do so with joy, and that is the source of all afflictions. And it's so true. It is so true. When you serve Yahweh, we're supposed to be glad that we are doing a mitzvah, a commandment from Yahweh. And let me show you the reason why. Not only have we sinned, but we did with happiness and with gladness of heart. And because the punishment is double severe. So what we are bringing now to the table is that when we are doing wrong, we are sinning, we are doing it because we are happy to do so. We are gladness of heart. Do you imagine? But we want to do something for the Creator, a mitzvah or anything. We do it because we have to. It's like somebody's pushing you. No, brothers, it's supposed to be the other way around, brothers and sisters. We need to serve Yahweh with our gladness of our hearts, and that's what He wants from us. But we do the opposite all the time. And that brings us to the next thing. In the United States has the highest rate of depression in the world. Globally, approximately in the 20 adults struggle with depression. In the U.S., 1 in 6, according to the medical news today, statistics show that our joy is not based on our material wealth or possessions. And it's so truth. It's never been based about material goods or wealth. It is based upon what Yahweh has given to all of us and what can we bring to the table to the Creator. It is simple as that. And that brings us to the next thing. The melancholy is not a sin, but it's a spiritual damage that melancholy can cause. And we need to be careful with this. And let me tell you the reason why. Look at what it says here. Book of Deuteronomy, Devarim 28:48. Yahweh will command your enemy against you, and you will serve him with you are hungry, thirsty, poorly clothed, and lacking everything. He will put an iron yoke around your neck until he destroys you. Now, why am I bringing this verse? Is because this is what happened to our forefathers when they were exiled to the northern to Assyria, the northern kingdom. The 10 tribes were lost, and they wind up here in America. And by the way, the docuseries that is coming after the festivals, it will talk about all this. But I just want to bring you a little bit because it says very clear that our forefathers did not serve Yahweh with gladness of heart. All these things happen. We need to be mindful of the things of the Creator. What He has given to all of us, we need to be mindful. We need to be glad. The Spirit of Yahweh does not rest on someone who's depressed, idle, or lazy, but only on someone wrapped in the joy of a mitzvah, of the command. And it's so truth. is so truth about what it says, that we need to be always doing something, always doing a mitzvah. Mitzvah means to be joyful in all the things that Yahweh is commanding us. Anything that you can help the poor, you can do anything, that's a mitzvah. That's the deeds of our father Abraham. But if we don't do anything, let me bring you with this. When the Creator wants us to be happy and we do the opposite, look at what it says here, Deuteronomy 16:16. On the feast of Sukkot, they shall not stand before me, or before Yahweh, with the word empty hands means regen. Regen means empty hands. But what does it mean in Hebrew? Well, regen, that's in Hebrew, but what does it mean to us? Reg means idle, empty, worthless, which means that we're not doing anything. We're just saying, okay, that's another Sukkot, that's another festival. We're not doing anything. Yay, drinking coffee, and that's it. We need to be doing all the things that Yahweh wants us. To be joyful means not just to be happy and that's it. No, we need to do a mitzvah with a joyful heart. And that's how the Creator wants all of us to be always. Now, look at what it says here. In the same mitzvah of Sukkot, each one according to the power of your hands, the word in Hebrew is yadot, according to the blessing that Yahweh has given you. Everyone are different, of course, but everyone has the capability to do a lot of things for the Creator. Whatever is according to what Yahweh has given you at this very moment. You have the ability to do a lot of things, but it's all up to you. All of us have the ability. Now, closing. If you have sleep in the tent, in the sukkah, every single day, all these 7 days, today is the last day, you have experienced what I have experienced. We have experienced what our forefathers experienced in the wilderness. Not only in the wilderness, but also just like our father Abraham, Jacob, Yitzhak, they dwelled in tents. They were nomads. So let me just show you a glimpse of how they felt, and we should feel the same thing when you are under the sukkah. 25:4 of Exodus, it says goat hair. This goat hair, they did a lot of things with goat hair. They did a lot of textile. They did a lot of blankets. They did a lot of things that they were utilized in the tent or tents. Okay, these textiles, they were able to do anything that you can possibly think, and they do it until now. You see the tent. You see the top of the tent. You see how it was made. When you were through the morning on the daylight, you could see through because of the sun is radiating on the tent. You could see right on top of you how they look. It looks like a lot of stars on the sky, right? And no wonder why Yahweh says that He displays the stars like a blanket in the tent. No wonder why forefathers saw what they saw when they were our tents. And no wonder why we need to keep in mind how they felt. We should be feeling the same thing. We are closing. Moreh Rapha'Yah, Chag Sameach, Sukkot. Happy Festival Sukkot. We are going to continue more and more. We're going to bring another shiur, another teaching on Shemini Atzeret, the final festival of Yahweh Sevaot. And we'll see you next time. Please subscribe if you haven't, so you can receive the latest production. Moreh Rapha'Yah. We'll see you next time. Shalom, shalom.